If it's taken you a long time and a lot of effort, or perhaps even you've had to go through IVF to get pregnant, it can feel really confusing when you eventually do, or when you even have your baby, because everybody's saying, oh, aren't you pleased and aren't you relieved? This is everything you've ever wanted, isn't it? And you're sat there thinking, well, I'm really stressed out, I'm really anxious, and in a way I'm sort of heartbroken for everything that we've been through. Why can't I just immediately switch this and just be glad that they're here? That's not as simple as that. Sometimes it's both together. I am glad that they're here and I am relieved, but I'm still afraid and I'm still affected by it, what's going on. So let's talk about why that might be. So there's a few different things. One is the sense of fragility about the safety of the baby or the safety of the pregnancy. If everything's always gone okay and gone smoothly, it's easier to assume that everything will in the future as well. But if you have had experiences, so going through this fertility thing where perhaps you thought you were pregnant and then you found out that you weren't, or you got a few weeks in and then you lost the pregnancy, or you tried an embryo and it didn't take, that's a lot of losses. And it can give you this impression that it's hanging by a thread. And we kind of can't trust it. Even when we think things are going to go okay, we can lose it at any moment. So it's almost like you know better. So just because you get pregnancy, it's almost like you can't trust it. Or when the baby arrives, this sense that it could be taken away from us at any moment. And on top of that, that if it does, it'd be my fault, particularly for the mum. So if I don't do things right, this won't work out. So if I don't inject myself at the right time, if we have sex on the wrong day, that kind of thing, it's going to be my issue. It's going to be my fault. And that comes with you too into the pregnancy. If we lose the pregnancy, that's going to be because of me. And it's completely unfair, but it's how I feel. And that can put the pressure on when you're pregnant or when you've had the child too. And so that can account for some of the anxiety. But also the amount of losses that you've dealt with, you kind of don't have time to deal with because it's straight on to the next cycle. Right, that didn't work out, we've just got to get on with it. To me, the way I would describe this is almost like the end of a marathon. So if you see the end of a marathon, people run, and then when they finish, they collapse. So they were running right up until that point, and then they collapse, and then they can't stand or walk. That's the same here. You've been running for so long that it might only properly catch up with you when the baby actually arrives. So it can feel odd that this wonderful, happy thing has happened and I'm feeling devastated, but that can be part of it. A final thing is the distance it can create between you and your partner, because for so long, all we've been able to focus on is tiny details and not kind of connection or meaning. Even when we're trying to be intimate together, actually it's all about whether we can get pregnant. And that can have gone on for ages. And again, that can carry on into the pregnancy, you taking all the responsibility and your partner feeling on the outside of that. And that can be really heartbreaking too. So it's not that simple. It's perfectly reasonable to be affected by it all.